All right, 3-4 equations of lines. You guys already know this. It was a little bit on the review. You guys. Yeah, 3. It's like. All right, so you guys already know this a little bit. All right, it was already out there. Okay, so I know you guys know how to do it. So with the equations of lines, there are 2 things that make up an equation of a line. 1, slope. You always need your slope for the equation of a line. Slope is defined as the rise over the run. It is defined as the change in y over the change in x. That's why we subtract. Okay, so writing equation of a line with the slope of 4/3, it passes through this point. There are 2 ways to go about it. I like my one way because I don't like memorizing just random formulas for the sake of memorizing random formulas. I like to memorize one formula and then use it. Okay, the formula they teach you guys to use, which is simple. It is. If you want to memorize it, memorize it. Very simple. It's called the point slope form. Very easy. Makes your life pretty simple in some cases, but it's just another thing you need to memorize. So what they do is you have your slope and you have a point. All right, so what they did here was they calculated their slope, okay, based upon all this stuff over here. Then they went through and justified it, okay? I'm not going to go through and justify the way it is. I think it just makes it way more confusing. But here's how you use your point slope formula, okay? So my slope that they gave to me was 4/3, right, Lance? Yeah. And what was the point they gave me? Like -2, 1?
Yeah, -2.
So here it is. This is your point slope form. Didn't mean to cross it out, but I guess my alignment's off. So that's your point slope form. So here's what you do. You label your point. I told you this. You label it. X1, Y1. Now, you write your formula. Sounds a lot like what I told you guys to do. So my formula that I need to memorize is y minus y1 equals n times the quantity of x minus x1. Here's what they do. They substitute. y1 was 1, n was 4/3, x, well, x is x. x1, well, that was -2. So you substitute that in. Now they clean it up. But I believe in WebAssign, you could actually leave it like this. Now, the problem with this is what, Lance? Do you know what the problem is with this? That's one problem. No, it's this. How do you graph that? Yeah, you can't graph it. Your graphing calculator says y equals, right, Nicky Grandma? Is that y equals? No. So, yeah, it might be nice to get the equation of a line, but you can't do much with it after that. So, if you need to graph it, here's what you have to do. You can do it 2 ways. You can plot your point and then count up and to the right, for your slope. You can always do that. That's what they did over here in the graph. They plotted the point, counted up 4 units and to the right 3 units, connected their dots. Or if you need to do even more with it, like kind of make a table, well, we could add 1 to both sides, okay? Right? And that gives me y equals 4/3 x plus 2 plus 1. Looks weird. You can distribute that, right, and simplify. Are you with me on that? Okay. If you want to make it look exactly the same, distribute that 4/3 throughout. We get y equals 4/3 x. 4/3 times 2 is 8/3 plus 1. It'd be y equals 4/3 x plus 11/3. So you can take that in your calculator. All right, so there's positives and negatives to everything we do in this class. You have to figure out which form works best for you. If I say write the equation of the line, that's the equation of the line right there in blue. If I say make a table of it, well, it's not really going to help you make a table easily, is it? If I say graph it, well, you can graph it pretty quickly in this form or in this form. It's not a big deal. All right. So it's all about what am I asking you to do. This is just another thing. If it helps you, memorize it. Okay, if it doesn't, well, you can always do y equals mx plus b, plug it in, and go that route. So that's how they came about it. All right. Now for the fun stuff. Now it says write the general form. Anybody know what the general form is? There's 3 forms for writing equation of line. Okay? First, slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b, right? Slope-intercept. Then there is point slope. Y minus y1 equals n times the quantity of x minus x1. This is point slope. Then there's general. Chris, have you ever heard of general? But you have. You've seen it. General form is ax plus by equals c. Okay, it's called like standard, right? You've heard of that. I know you've seen it. Okay, so it's like the general form. Okay, it's useful in finding the intercepts. Not much else. So here we go. If I need to find the general form of this, well, a couple things. One, x and y are on the same side. So that's my end result. Now, how do we want to go about this, Nikki Grandma? Do you want to use point slope or y equals mx plus b? Which one do you feel more comfortable? Me too. Glad you said. Ready for this, Franklin? Franklin, first step, always label your points. Second step, Ed, write your formula. Now we need the slope. So I'm going to write my slope formula. Justin, do you remember the next step?
You have to find the y-intercept.
What was that?
What was the question?
What's my next step?
For what?
For this problem.
You have to plug in the points.
Yeah, substitute. So let's go ahead and substitute. So I'm going to write m equals y2 is 3, y1 is 2, x2 is -2, x1 is 4, and then I got to solve. 3 minus 2 is 1, -2 minus 4 is -6. So I have my slope of -1/6. All right, not bad, not bad. Halfway there, right, Nikki Grandma? Now I need to find b. So Julia, you ready for this? It's easy. Be an easy question. All right, your slope is -1/6. And I have 2 points, this one and this one. Which one do you like that? Left or right?
Left.
Left? Me too. Why did you choose left? Why did we think of left? Very good. There's no negatives. I like dealing with non-negative numbers. Do you know what happens when you deal with a negative number, Chris? Chances are you make a mistake somewhere. Just because you drop a negative or something like that, typically you don't drop a positive sign. And if you do, it's positive. So here we go. I like dealing with positive numbers. Now, just like we did over here in the red, I'm going to label it. This time I'm going to label x and y because I only have 1 point. Then, if you told me you like dealing with y equals mx plus b, so I write my equation. I know this problem's long. It's husky. I like it. It's making me feel like swole. You know, like when you lift. I'm lifting with my brain. You're like, stop talking. Don't look at the clock. Don't go any faster. Now, substitute. So 2 equals negative 1/6 times 4 plus b. So 2 equals, simplify here, negative 4 over 6 plus b. Okay, I don't really like negative 4/6, so I'm going to write negative 2/3 plus b. Get rid of negative 2/3, I add it. And I got b equals 2 2/3, which is 8/3. Now, from here, I write the equation in my line. Y equals negative 1/6 x plus 8/3. But now here's the thing. I'm almost there. I promise you. I'm almost out of colors too, so it has to be the other problem. So I have ax plus by equals c. Almost there, right? I gotta get x to that side. So I'm gonna add 1/6. That gives me 1/6 x plus y equals 8/3. But here's the thing. Chris, are those fractions? They could be, but they're not. Those are fractions, right? That's a fraction. How do I get rid of that? How do I get rid of the fractions? Which should I multiply by? I could, but I just need to multiply by 6 in this case, because that's the least common denominator, right? Do you see that? So if I multiply by 6, that gives me x plus 6y equals 6 times 8 is 48, divided by 3, 16. No. That's the answer. Now, being able to manipulate from one form to another is useful, okay? If you say, hey, what are the intercepts? This format, it's pretty easy for the intercept. They can do cover up. They can do x equals 16, right? Because when you plug in 0 for y, it goes away. Cover that up. 6y equals 16. Divide by 6, you get 16 over 6, which is 8/3, right? So it's useful. Slope, well, if I have it in this form, slope and an intercept is very easy to graph. Okay, point slope. Kind of like, don't really have to recall. But, so. All right. Now for the easy stuff. Horizontal lines have no slope. Slope is 0. Okay? They're easy to identify because they're y equals a number. Okay? Y equals a number, no slope. 0. Horizontal. X equals a number, well, that's vertical. That's an undefined slope. Straight up and down. Well, that's easy. All right. Writing the equation of lines that are vertical, all right, and horizontal, we're just going to do A and B, and I'm going to call it a day because, no, we'll do C and D. Here we go. A tells me it's a vertical line, right, Lance? Vertical lines are x equals a number, correct? What does x equal in this problem? Done. It's all about the x value. Ed, horizontal line is what?
What?
Horizontal line is what?
Um,
If you forget, look on
that
the
would
other.
be 6, right?
It's what?
6.
Yeah, y equals 6. Now for C and D, it says, write the equation of the line passing through the points, right? Not very descriptive. Here's what I do. I always do this. I always look at my points, right? If I look at my points, what jumps out off the page about the points? Cody, what jumps off the page about these points?
Which one? The
C. What jumps off the page?
not sure.
Can you grab it? Same y. They're the same y value. Huh, guess what? Y equals 3. Horizontal line. Notice the y's are the same. Last but not least, what jumps off the page now, Cody, for D?
So it would just be 2/3. I don't know.
Well, what's the same in D, Cody?
Oh, the negative ones.
-1. That's my x value. X equals -1.
Got it.
That's how you write the equation of. All right.